unfortunately it hasn't given us the desired impact. So much resources have gone into it. It's clearly not unconnected with the fact that our planning process has not been right. This is the basic reason why we have to partner with Cornell University to begin to review from the basics where we're not getting it right to the desirable level. No doubt, 70% of our population are traditional farmers, but unfortunately subsistence farmers. And so much goes into driving support for food growth with very little impact. Our program with Cornell, no doubt, is one which we must hold dear to our hearts because it's going to give us the most important platform that will ensure that we have a sustainable agri development transformation program in Kwara State and indeed Nigeria. I must commend the efforts of USAID. Despite the, well, I would say inorganized platform in which our agri system is running, we've been able to make some remarkable level of intervention. I want to commend you for that. No doubt, from what we have outlined with Cornell, encapsulated in our camp document, shows that we're prepared to move on to that level that will take us to the level where people will see food on the table and will get industrial food stock. We made several attempts in the past, like I said, but one of the biggest things we're trying to do now is the issue of proper enumeration. Because planning starts firstly with data, and without data, you cannot move on. So we're very concerned about the proper enumeration of our local farmers before we start talking about capacity building, before we start talking about input support, before we start talking about what levels we want to get them to. But one thing comes out clearly, that in trying to drive agri transformation, there has to be an understanding of what the value chain in agriculture defines. For every participant in the value chain, you start with the understanding of the end in mind. So it tells you clearly what your inputs are, what your expected outputs will be, and most importantly, how you get them to a desirable level that will translate into cash. It is very critical. In the past, we've had so much inputs, like government intervention has been seen mostly like a social package. But it's becoming clear, especially with the scarcity of funds and inputs, that we need to improve on our level of efficiency of inputs, generation, and input support for our farmers. For us in Kwara, like you know, we've had an attempt with some farmers from Zimbabwe who were relocated who have come to establish commercial farming. I will see that as a success story because we've never witnessed what commercial farming is like in Nigeria. Some of us have never seen 1 hectare of farmland. We have opportunities of seeing up to 600 hectares. And farmers are doing well. Yes, they have their challenges, but the most important thing is that we've been able to learn the success of Agric transformation. We've been able to learn what value chain implies. This team that has come from Cornell will be doing a lot of things for us. We are willing to partner with them to get what had long been desired right. That is a proper platform for planning. Planning, i.e., we must check who they grow, we must know who they will sell to, and we must know how they will get paid. So this begins to see us seeing farming as truly an agroeconomic activity. Our farmers have been responding in their own little ways. But I'm sure by the time we are through with putting all the necessary inputs, in driving this CAP program to the desired level, it can be a more auspicious time to come up on a strong partnership level with USAID. Because obviously the activities of USAID has also defined that they understand the current challenges that farming has been faced with in Nigeria. Close to over 40% of what is produced every year goes into wastage. Not because there is nobody to consume, but because there is poor linkage between all the various stakeholders and, of course, the consumption levels. So the key program now is to see how we move our farmers from subsistence level to commercial level, and how we begin to get them properly organized. I'm happy that the Cornell team has come with an expert on cooperatives. We've tried to see how we support our farmers on cooperative basis. A lot more often than not, it's not been giving us the desired level of output. We picked 4 crops: rice, cassava, soya, and maize. Of course, that does not imply that we're not going to do other crops. But don't forget that we're starting a model. For us, it might even be a bit Herculean to carry on all the farmers in Kwara State at once. So we decided to compartmentalize them. Firstly, we get at least minimum of 10 farmers from each local government. We have 16 of the local governments. These are going to be our model farmers we'll start with. Hopefully, the success of this 10 will now serve as not only a learning ground for other farmers, but also will serve as a test ground for the challenges we'll be faced with in the implementation of this program. I'm usually very concerned about starting things on model basis, maybe because I've had so much exposure in strategic management. I feel modeling is very good, and the success of models are usually easier to replicate in bigger environments. The one thing which comes out clearly here is that Kwara State is on the path of growth and development in agric transformation. And we've gotten the right inputs, and of course we've gotten the right partners. I want to thank you so much for taking your time to see us as one of the partners that will truly transmit the much desired agric transformation into what Nigeria wants to see. That this will move to become not only a Kwara State affair, but a regional affair, i.e. the north central part of the country. Why we try to build on the regional basis? Because we're trying to see those who share the same type of soil types with us. And we can see how we can develop synergy between ourselves so that we can have some level of regional cooperation and input exchange. And we begin to see how this will ultimately begin to move the agroeconomy on a private sector perspective. A lot of governments are involved, but at different levels. Hopefully our model will make governments to begin to see how they can synergize with the private sector and of course support groups as not only consumers but as partners in driving growth and development globally. The platform we are creating here will begin to see fruition hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years. But the most important thing will be it's going to be a sustainable platform. It's going to be the much desired platform that industrialization will begin to take its real meaning in Kwara State, Nigeria, and in West Africa. I see this as a big challenge. I want to be sure that we put the right platform in place so that it is not tied to any administration. It is tied to a clear focus of an end in mind. Because one of the problems we're faced with in Nigeria, again, is changes in governments usually lead to changes in policies and programs. But once they are clearly spelled out, understood, with a defined end in mind, it becomes a modulated platform of a bigger picture that enables whoever comes in to drive it to the same goal that will see us moving to that desired level.